like to try something different for this video. I want to tell you a story unscripted and unrehearsed, and I hope very much that it is not going to be an unmitigated disaster. But what I'd like to do is share with you one of my Magic memories. I started playing Magic the Gathering in an ancient and mystical time known as the mid-1990s. The set that had just come out was revised, and I played Magic every day at high school during lunch with a playgroup of other Magic the Gathering kids. We didn't know each other very well. We weren't like lifelong friends or anything like that. In fact, the only thing we had in common was playing Magic the Gathering at lunch. We were in different programs, in different classes. I think many of us were different ages. But what brought us together every day was this game. And there was one kid in particular. He was really, really good at the game. He had a great deck, and he was also a great person, a nice and wonderful kid. He was like one of those nerds that was cool before it was cool to be a nerd, very socially open and kind. Anyway, one day he showed up and he didn't have his deck on him, but he did have just a single card in a penny sleeve. And we all gathered around, and he told us that he had been at a kind of Magic the Gathering gathering. I don't know what it was. I don't know that they had conventions in those days or trade shows, but there was some kind of big event that a lot of people who played Magic the Gathering were at. He had brought his trade folders and his decks, and it turns out he had traded it all away for a single card. And that card, and he pulled it out, and we all looked, and we couldn't believe our eyes. It was a Black Lotus. And I'll never forget the look on his face as another kid reached over and took the card from him, pulled it out of the penny sleeve, and immediately and without hesitation peeled back the sticker of a Black Lotus that was on top of what turned out to be just a basic island. He had been duped. He had been cheated. Someone had printed out a Black Lotus on a sticker and put that sticker on a basic island and targeted some 15-year-old kid and taken all his rares, all his binders, and said, hey, while you're at it, give me your deck that you play with every day at lunch, and took everything from him. I'll never forget the way his face fell, his hand trembled, and he said in this kind of soft and dead voice, well, I guess I won't be around for lunch much anymore. But do you know what happened next? Without any pause, without any protest, all of us began calling out to each other the names of the cards that we remembered were in his deck. Force of Nature, Black Vice, I don't know. All the different cards that he had. Those weren't them, I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But we shouted out to each other the cards that had been in his deck, and we went into our backpacks and our 3-ring binders and our own decks, and we pulled out those cards. And by the end of lunch that day, we had reassembled his deck, and we gave it to him. And so he never had to miss a single day of lunch playing Magic with us. That, to me, is amazing, and it makes me feel so proud to be a part of this community, because you are amazing. And even though you weren't there on that day to take your own cards and give them to that kid, you should still be proud of yourself, because I know with absolute certainty that each and every one of you would have done the same. I know it because every time a draft ends at my local game store, pro players and aspiring pro players and just experienced players with already large collections will take out the commons and the uncommons and the jank rares from that draft, and they will leave them at the end of the table for new players and for kids and for maybe some people who are down on their luck, don't have access to a lot of cash, for those folks to take those cards and to be able to play with them. I know it because every single day on the message boards and on Reddit, I read dozens of stories of people helping each other out with acts of generosity and kindness within the Magic community, acts between complete strangers that allow someone who is unfortunate, who has had bad luck, to keep playing this wonderful game. And thank you, too, for giving me 25,000 subscribers. It is unbelievable to me that even 25 of you care what I have to say. And the idea that 25,000 of you want to tune in and hear what I have to say every week is just the most wonderful feeling in the world, the most satisfying and fulfilling feeling, and you have been able to give that to me, so thank you. I have no idea if anyone is actually interested in this, or if you just rather me talk about some more decks, which I will, but I thought that for 25K we'd do a Q&A. Post a question for me, any question about anything that you've wondered, in the comments of this specific video, and next week I will select 25 of them and answer them in a Q&A video. The 25K Q&A. It rhymes, so you can't argue with that. And by the way, if your question is, will you make a video about blank, or can you do a video explaining blank? The answer already is yes, 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 1,000 times yes. Honestly, I read every comment you make in every one of my videos. I can't always respond to them. Some of them don't warrant a response. Sometimes I'm in a rush. I try and respond to as many as possible, but I never, ever skip a single comment. And every single time someone makes a request for a video, I write it down. I've got a nice big file. It may not get done soon, but it is on the list. I promise you that. But ask any other questions that you want in this video here, and next week I'll answer 25 of them. Yes, 25 of them. The 25K Q&A. Thank you so much for supporting this, the Tolarian community.